Hello everybody. This is another one of those videos where I'm hoping to help people starting out with DCS World. This one is going to be about things that are free to play in DCS. First off, there's a month-long period where Eagle Dynamics graciously decided to allow every user to use just about every product in DCS for free. Make sure to check that out and benefit from that. But even after that, DCS World does actually offer quite a bit of content that is forever free to use and enjoy. The first would be the Caucasus map. It's the currently largest map in DCS. Covers the Black Sea region with southern shores of Russia, Ukraine and Georgia as highly detailed areas, as well as a little bit of northeastern Turkey. Though the map extends a lot more in not so detailed areas. Caucasus is offered in 4 different texture sets for each season and offers lots of interesting areas to explore, fly and fight around. But map isn't what we all wonder about, right? We're all in for the aircraft, and DCS comes with 2 free aircraft to use. Going from older to newer, the first is TF-51D Mustang. This is an unarmed version of the famous P-51D Mustang from Second World War. It has a small tiny seat without any controls or gauges behind the pilots for taking someone for, I guess, a joyride. That seat occupies the space where a fuel tank would have been. Since that fuel and all the armament and related systems are removed, it is quite a bit lighter than the proper Mustang, and thus is actually more agile. Being a legendary World War II warbird, it is unsurprisingly a total joy to fly. It is quite fast, considering it is a piston-engined World War II fighter, of course, and handles really nicely, and is, like I've said, rather agile. Being full fidelity, it has really good systems and flight modeling, with a fully clickable cockpit. With these qualities, you can use it to familiarize yourself with using a full fidelity aircraft in DCS, especially a warbird. Or you can use it for aerobatics, joyrides, formation training and general airmanship. And of course, for crazy shenanigans like weaving between high-rises and under the bridge. The second aircraft is different in all the possible ways. It is the Su-25T, an upgrade project for the Su-25 Grach. She has her origins in the late 80s Soviet Union and has seen operational trials by Russia during the 90s before the cancellation of project in 2000. Unlike the TF-51D, this is a medium fidelity simulation. With no clickable cockpit, simplified systems modeling and somewhat abstracted controls. Unlike the TF-51D, this one's all about the weapons, and a whole lot of them at that. You got all sorts of dumb bombs, TV-guided bombs, cluster bombs and bomblet dispensers, rockets ranging from puny 57mm to mighty 340mm ones. You also have guided missiles of TV, laser or anti-radar guided varieties. Oh, and of course short-range air-to-air missiles are available too. Finally, you have a pretty decent 30mm gun. Although she's in full fidelity, there is still a lot to master with using even the simplified systems and tactics to use weapons and flying the plane itself more effectively. I have recently made a video comparing it with regular Su-25, so I'll cut it short here by saying this is a very useful plane for either single or multiplayer. You can watch said video for more on Su-25T. So these are the current free offers of Eagle Dynamics in DCS. Though I must add that another free map, one made with using more recent tech, will join in foreseeable future, the Mariana Islands. Lots of Pacific and a few small islands. It can make some interesting scenarios possible. At first it is going to be a modern version of the area, but according to Nick Gray, CEO of ED, they also want to create a World War II version. We don't know yet if that version will also be free or not, of course. But at least it is planned. These are all of the Eagle Dynamics provided freebies. But that isn't all. Well, there are 2 very high quality community mods that are right up there with some of the paid modules. and you would do well to include them in your DCS install. Now, there are many free mods, of course, but they tend to be just some 3D models without much in the way of realism. I tend to not focus on those, and I would think most of the people who want to get into DCS tend to want it for the fidelity it is known for. So, like I've said, I don't usually focus on mods, but again, like I've said, these two mods are still very much worth looking into, as they do fit those considerations pretty well. These mods are community-made A4E and the Marci MB339 by Frecce Tricolori Virtuali. Both are available completely for free and are continuously being improved. They are almost up there with a paid module, like I've said. Well, the 339 is 95% there, but A4E has an SFM, the standard flight model, a relic flight model technology from old Eagle Dynamics sims. So this does hold it back a little, but otherwise it is an excellent, I would say, module with a very well-made systems modeling and a clickable cockpit. Lots of very nice weapons. Also, aside from having a bit of a scripted feeling, the flight model does get the performance numbers right for the most part. So it's not like a total bullshit flight model or anything like that. It just doesn't have the feeling of more advanced custom flight models. As many of you probably know, A4 is an American attack aircraft that served in many navies and air forces between 50s and 90s for USA, and it still serves with some others. This little delta-winged beauty is surprisingly fast for a subsonic bird, and it is at least as agile, with a surprisingly huge payload to boot. This really is the little bird that could. Aside from a whole lot of dump bombs, cluster bombs and bomblet dispensers similar to Su-25's KMGU, you can also carry a lot of rockets of either 70 or 127mm variety. Up to 3 20mm gun pods can join your own 2 20mm guns on board. Finally, you can carry up to 4 AGM-45 Shrike anti-radar missiles to hunt enemy SAM sites, so you can do seed in this Freebird. These are really old school and primitive missiles though, so all the targeting you get is if you point the bore sight right on an emitter, they will whine loudly, kind of like a sidewinder. If your bore sight is even a few degrees off from the emitter, the missile still won't track. And it has a rather short range, so seed missions in A4 is really very challenging. But on the flip side, this makes them even more rewarding and satisfying. One small tip: when you launch a Shrike, if the missile lofts up immediately, yay, it's tracking. If it's going straight, well, better luck next time, because your missile most likely isn't tracking the enemy SAM radar. The real cool trick of A4 is that even though it is a free mod, it still has a working air-to-ground radar. Granted, it is a simple one that can range for ground attacks, find ships overseas, or draw terrain contour in terrain avoidance mode, but it is still very cool for a free mod to have a working air-to-ground radar. Also, terrain avoidance mode makes this little bird an all-weather day and night capable birdie. Speaking is hard sometimes. You also get to carry a couple of Sidewinder missiles, ranging from really old to somewhat old with all-aspect targeting capability. Last but not the least, MB339 by Frecce Tricolori Virtuali is a bird with absolutely lovely handling. This is a trainer and light attack aircraft designed and built in Italy, and is most famous for being the ride of Italy's aerobatics team Frecce Tricolori. Aside from a beautiful external model and textures, right up there with any paid module, to be honest, and as a just as nice cockpit, this bird features a full custom EFM flight model, and obviously a clickable cockpit and full systems modeling. And something even many paid modules lack is they have included a lot of high quality custom sounds, so really kudos to those guys. She flies really, really nicely, and she's not really built for speed and doesn't go really that fast. Some of the faster late war prop warbirds can actually overtake you, especially if you are loaded up with weapons. Well, in level flight anyway. But she handles like a warbird too, and in fact even better. Whatever you throw at her, she'll just pull it off. Not too surprising when you look at all that wingspan and mostly straight wing design. Turns, rolls, snap rolls, climbing, diving, she'll do just whatever you tell her to really nicely, and she's just delightful to fly. Though her overly eager and somewhat twitchy roll characteristics can be challenging to control precisely. But that's fun, and to be honest, overall she's rather easy to handle. Challenging, but not all that challenging. Also, there's a second cockpit, with it being a trainer, and as far as I know, it does work in multiplayer too, therefore this can be a nice aircraft to train a newcomer in. When it comes to combat, 339 can carry a surprising amount of ordnance in form of unguided bombs and rockets, as well as 30mm DEFA cannons or 50 caliber M3 heavy machine gun pods. No air-to-air missiles this time though, as they weren't used on the spurts, but she can be quite useful in low-intensity conflicts or counterinsurgency type scenarios. Well, so there you have it, people. We have one very useful free map, with another one coming one of these years. There are 2 ED provided and 2 community-made free aircraft, 3 of them being capable of carrying weapons, and all of them having different uses in both single and multiplayer scenarios. They all can help you see what you enjoy and want more of, as well as what you feel missing and want to experience. Thus, they can all help you with your purchases. And even just by themselves, they will provide you with many opportunities in the sim, single or multiplayer alike, with lots to learn and do. Hope this helps, and hope this will provide you with lots of entertainment. Well, see you all later, folks.